Hello everybody, 10th Dr. Matt here, and this video is going to be the first in a series of reviews of Doctor Who replica clothing by Magnoli Clothiers. So I thought I'd start with a fan favorite of the Swirly Tie, worn by David Tennant and sort of Matt Smith, so we'll kind of come back to that. So let's get started, and we'll start with the most important category, which is screen accuracy. So as of the recording of this video, this is, I believe, either the third or fourth iteration of this tie that Magnoli has put out. Some of the earlier versions were not quite there, and this one really is just spot on. And I know some people are probably concerned about these burgundy sections in here. If we look at the tie that Matt Smith is wearing in the 11th hour, he basically, that tie looks like it just has the blue outlines and it has no burgundy in any of those fill-in areas. So that gets back to my point at the beginning of the video when I said it was sort of worn by Matt Smith. And my reason for saying that is that in the 11th hour, Matt Smith was actually not wearing this tie. The original that David Tennant wore was made by Christian LaCroix. And if you look closely in some of these screen caps, it's a little bit difficult to get a really good close-up shot of it, but you'll notice that that original tie does in fact have these burgundy areas. And that original tie was a one-of. Most of the ties that David wore, they had many copies so that if he was running around and destroyed one during filming, it was no big deal. But the Christian LaCroix was a one-of, and that was actually, according to Louise Page, was David's favorite tie. So they really wanted to be careful with that, and that was why he only wore it in episodes where he wasn't actually featured a lot. He wasn't doing a lot of stunt work, basically. So in the 11th hour, and they knew that they were going to have, Amy close the Doctor's tie in a car door and all kinds of stuff, and they didn't want to destroy the original, so what they did was they just took a plain brown tie and they embroidered the blue pattern over it for Matt Smith to wear. So that's why it's missing those burgundy areas. So getting back to the point, compared to the original with the burgundy, this tie is just spot on. So as far as screen accuracy goes, I give it 5 out of 5. And what's nice about this tie is that it pairs well with a lot of different shades of blue. Frequently, David wore it with a dark shade of blue shirt, kind of like I'm wearing, maybe even a little darker. And personally, I like that look the best. But with the light blue, it also goes great with light blue shirt, French blue, any number of shades. All right, next, let's talk about quality and workmanship. So, as of almost all of Magnoli's ties, this is 100% silk. That's handmade. And I'm going to get a little bit closer to the camera so you can actually see some more of the nuances. And this particular silk is just extremely soft and smooth. It's really quite nice. But yet the material is thick enough that it knots well, so the knot isn't going to loosen up throughout the day and kind of start falling down on you. And as far as the colors go, it's really quite vivid, and I hope that this comes across well enough in the video, because I've seen a lot of pictures of this tie, and the pictures just do not do it justice. The colors are really just fantastic, and they really pop out, especially if you're wearing it against a dark blue shirt, and especially if you have the brown suit for the whole look. I would actually be wearing the rest of the brown suit. I have the trousers right now, but my jacket is actually being tailored, so that's why I don't have that at this moment. But that will be featured in my future review videos for some other ties. This kind of goes along with the screen accuracy part. The lining is a bright red, like the original, which is a nice touch. And you can see on the back the little Magnoli tag. And one other thing, I'm not sure if you can really catch it on the camera, but this tie really plays well with light. So depending on what angle people see you at, the light really almost reflects off of these blue areas. And so from each angle that you look at it, you can you get almost a little bit of a different tie. It's really pretty cool. So quality and workmanship, 5 out of 5 for sure. Next, let's talk about price. Like I'm pretty sure almost every single Magnoli tie, this tie costs $60. So a lot of people might think that that price tag is a little bit steep at first glance, but to be quite honest, I think it's actually very fair. Yes, you probably wouldn't spend that much on any old random tie that you pick up at a department store, but the things with this are, it's 100% silk, it's handmade, and the screen accuracy is incredible. So, I mean, it's the 10th Doctor's tie. And, you know, that price includes shipping, and the shipping goes basically anywhere in the world, which is really quite nice. And so we're going to talk about that next. As far as the shipping goes, the ties are nice because they don't have to make them on the spot for you like they would a suit or a coat or something. The ties, they just have a lot of them that they've made. So when you order a tie, generally Indy will ship it out the next day or even the same day, depending on what time you order it and what time it is in New Zealand. And, generally, when he ships the ties, they don't ship it with the express DHL like they would with a suit, because I imagine that's pretty expensive. So you don't get a tracking number, which is kind of a bummer. But the nice part is, generally, he always quotes, 1 to 2 or 2 to 3 weeks for it to arrive. I mean, I'm sure it's less depending on, if you live closer. But it always arrives like a week faster than he quotes, which is nice. So, for instance, I ordered this, and in 1 week it was on my doorstep. So overall, I definitely give this tie a 5 out of 5 for everything. So that about does it for my review of the Swirly Tie. Please stay tuned to my channel for some more Magnoli reviews coming up, including a couple ties, the brown suit, and Tennant overcoat. And please feel free to check out my Ultimate Tennant Hair tutorial as well if you're looking to style your hair like the 10th Doctor. I hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.